You know, the new year often feels like we're just flipping a page on the calendar. But what if it could be something more, like a real opportunity for a deep personal renewal? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down 5 keys to help you do exactly that. Let's start with a question I think a lot of us feel deep down. Does just changing the date on the calendar really change anything fundamental about our lives or, our state of mind? But what if we looked at it in a totally different way? Our source material has this really powerful idea. What if we use this moment to do a kind of factory reset on our inner selves, to clear out all the junk and get a truly fresh start? All right, so let's dive right in with our first key, and this one is huge. It's all about how we deal with our past mistakes. It's about making peace with what's behind us so we can actually finally move forward. There's actually a word for this habit: ruminating. It's like being stuck on a mental hamster wheel, going over and over past failures. And it's seen as a major enemy of our mental health for one simple reason: all that regret can't change the past. It just messes up our present. So, how in the world do you break that cycle? Well, a spiritual perspective offers a really powerful way out. This quote here from St. Paul isn't about getting amnesia. It's about making a conscious, active choice to stop letting your past hold you hostage. And to make that decision feel real, like truly tangible, there's this powerful ritual. First, you write it all down, every single mistake from the past year. Then, you look at it and acknowledge it honestly. And finally, you physically destroy the list. You tear it up, you burn it, whatever. It's a simple act, but it can be an incredible symbol of release. So here's the bottom line. You have to accept the forgiveness that's being offered, whether that's from a higher power, from other people, or even from yourself. The key is to stop holding on to what's already been released. I mean, why should you be the last person to forgive yourself? Okay, let's move on to our second key, which really builds on that whole idea of self-acceptance. This one's about untangling our sense of self-worth from what we do or what we accomplish. And this chart just illustrates the core conflict perfectly. The world is constantly screaming at us, "You are what you achieve," right? Our value is tied to our output, our performance, which, let's be honest, is a perfect recipe for constant anxiety. But there is another way to look at it. This alternative perspective just flips the whole script. It says your real intrinsic value comes from who you are, not what you produce. Just imagine that for a second. Being valued unconditionally, no matter if you succeed or fail. Shifting your mindset to that can bring this incredible sense of peace, even to your work. All right, our next key tackles a huge source of stress for so many of us: anxiety about the future. This is all about shifting our focus away from the entire year ahead and onto the single day right in front of us. I love how anxiety is defined here. It's the impossible attempt to live in a time that hasn't even happened yet, and the useless effort to try and control it. And of course, that leads to burnout. How could it not? The solution is actually found in this really simple, ancient piece of wisdom. The request isn't for a whole year's supply of bread, right? It's for just enough for today. You can almost think of it as a spiritual kind of mindfulness, a really powerful way to focus only on the present moment. So it really all boils down to this: narrow your focus. Forget the whole year for a minute. Just concentrate on winning the 24 hours you have right now. That's it. Okay, let's talk about that intense pressure we all feel to be perfect. Our fourth key completely turns that whole idea on its head. This is about finding strength, real strength in our own humanity. And the analysis here is super direct about it. Perfectionism is an illusion. It's a trap. This constant attempt to be flawless, it's only going to break you down the moment you make a mistake. And that just leads to disappointment and feeling down. So true strength, from this perspective, comes from a pretty surprising place. It's found not in being perfect, but in openly admitting our weaknesses and allowing for help. It's kind of counterintuitive, right? It reframes our imperfections as an actual opportunity. So the goal for this new year isn't to never mess up or never have a bad day. No way.
The real victory is in getting back up immediately when you do fall, dusting yourself off, and just keeping going.
And finally, our fifth key. This one tackles the constant noise of modern life and gives us a real strategy to find peace right in the middle of all the chaos. It's about carving out a little space for quiet.
I mean, we all feel this every single day, don't we? Our minds are just constantly cluttered with notifications, the news, the endless scroll, and it leaves us feeling totally drained, unable to think clearly or even just rest. And the practical advice is actually so simple. Commit to just 15 minutes of intentional silence every single day. That means no phone, no music, no distractions, just you. And you really got to think of this not as empty time, but as an essential daily charge for your mental and spiritual batteries. It's the thing that can keep you balanced and calm when life inevitably gets chaotic. So there you have it. These 5 keys: letting go of the past, knowing your worth, focusing on today, embracing your imperfections, and finding some silence, they all work together. They're like a complete toolkit for that inner factory reset we were talking about at the beginning. And that really just leaves us with one final thought to take away. Looking at these 5 areas, which one is speaking to you right now? Which of these keys are you going to turn first to unlock your own inner peace this year?